Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Our big focus this hour, the Air India flight from Kochi to Mumbai has experienced a runway excursion upon landing at the Mumbai airport amidst heavy rainfall. The airline said that all passengers and crew members are safe and have disembarked from the aircraft, which taxied safely to the gate. However, 3 tires of the aircraft burst during landing and the engine may have suffered damage as well. The plane has been grounded for checks at the Mumbai airport and minor damages have been reported to the airport's primary runway 0927, resulting in the second runway being activated to ensure uninterrupted flight operations. Flight operations from Mumbai airport were diverted to the secondary runway with inspection and repair work on the affected portion of the main runway starting. The operations at the airport, however, remain unaffected. Let's take a look at how this incident exactly unfolded. Well, let's explain you, of course, what happened on board this aircraft, which led to the flight skidding off the runway. Remember, this, of course, did cause the passengers and those on board to be very, very scared. Let's take this from the top, please. Let's go to the first slide. So this is what happened with Air India flight skidding off the runway. And there's a picture, of course, of that aircraft as well. It was an Air India flight AI 2744. It's an Airbus A320. It was operating on the Kochi-Mumbai route. That was the flight path of this aircraft. The incident occurred amidst intense monsoon showers. Remember, Mumbai, of course, currently is in the grip of the monsoon. Intense monsoon showers were taking place. Obviously, there was reduced visibility and slippery runway conditions as a result of the adverse weather. The aircraft then attempted to land on runway number 27. So runway 27 was the runway allocated for this aircraft for its landing. The aircraft veered 16 to 17 meters off the main runway, entering an unpaved surface shortly after the touchpad zone. So this is, of course, what happened there. After skidding, the aircraft reached and came to a halt on an adjacent taxiway. So it, of course, skidded and the aircraft reached and came off on an adjacent taxiway. 3 tires burst during that excursion off the runway that took place. That resulted, of course, in that tires burst. Also, one of the aircraft's engines sustained damages as a result of this incident as well. You can see some of those pictures as well, which corroborate the damage there to that aircraft. It resulted, of course, immediately in the runway, of course, being closed immediately. The runway 27 was shut temporarily as a result, of course, of this incident. So this is what happened on board that Air India aircraft. Let me quickly bring in our guests for expert analysis on this story. Dr. Vandana Singh, aviation expert, is with us live. Crew Captain V.N. Jha, former Indian Air Force officer, joins us on the broadcast as well. Wing Commander Bharat Bhushan, former Indian Air Force officer, is also live with us. Captain S.S. Panesar, aviation expert, is also joining the broadcast live. Very, very serious incident, of course, being reported today on board that AI 2744 aircraft. Dr. Vandana Singh, what do you make of what could have possibly caused this? Was it just adverse weather? Was it pilot error? What do you attribute this to, Dr. Vandana Singh? And what are the lessons that can be learned from what transpired?
First and foremost, we've also just learnt of this incident a few hours back. And Uday, thank you for having me on your channel. I am pretty much sure that the pilot has gauged everything. The ATC has already given him the weather conditions. It's normal at this time to have heavy monsoon showers. The pilot must have also analyzed the runway visual range, how the aqua planning has to be in case the aircraft is, landing, how much of skid or this would cause. So I think all of it was already gauged. And the pilot then takes a call. So normally the procedure is that you're always checking, of course, the ATC is advising you the actual weather conditions, the wind, the precipitation, all of it. And then, of course, the pilot has the final authority. The pilot who's flying the aircraft has the final authority as to land this aircraft on that particular runway or seek for alternate runways in case he deems not appropriate or decides not to for the reasons. Having said that, at this point of time, to really say, what went on over here, why pilot took this decision, was that there was the roster did not allow, or was it that there was another flight to take off after this? I don't think the pilot is going to look at all of that. First thing that comes in his mind is also the safety and security of the passengers on board. In this case, 141 plus crew plus the rest. Okay, so I can't say at this point of time that the pilot took a wrong call. I'm sure it was a gauged decision, but then everybody needs to be brought in terms of stakeholders and examined as to why this happened, or was he given the clear you know conditions that existed on ground, which I'm sure they were at this point of time. Over to you there.
All right, Group Captain V.N. Jha, in fact, is also with us live. Group Captain Jha, it is, of course, early as this incident took place just today. But what is prima facie your assessment of what perhaps went wrong?
Well, as it looks right now, there is not much to say, but yes, we have had a glimpse of some of the damages at the inlet of the engine. And damages do point out that it had had a contact very low below. And if that has happened, obviously the wings would have got damaged. If any stone as an impact or any metal or grass has been ingested, grass usually may not cause much of damage to the engine, but any other thing going to the engine, the blades will get damaged there inside. The compressor things will need the complete strip down of the engine inspection. But first of all, I must compliment all the passengers. These are the recipe for disaster. When you make a decision to land on the rainy or the wet surface, that does happen. Civil airlines, they keep on landing on that. They land on the snow-covered runway as well as and where that is there. So that's nothing very unusual. But veering off, even that is not very unusual, but that shows that pilot has somewhere lost the control of it. It has veered off. It has gone to the Kacha, and as you mentioned, it has gone 60 meters there off the runway. Obviously, some pointed object in between in the way would have caused the tire puncture, tire burst. Those things are the secondary. But the primary objective is that under such circumstances, I have seen a lot of cases of error of judgment happening there as a cause of maybe low clouds, maybe passing shower, very heavy shower, that at times may blind you totally. So such things have happened, and it's too premature to say anything beyond this. But I must compliment all the passengers who have escaped. That would have been a very, very disastrous accident. Uday.
Wing Commander Bharat Bhushan, what do you believe could possibly have caused this incident? What do you believe could have possibly have caused this runway excursion? What are the lessons to be learnt from what has happened today, which should hopefully not repeat in the future? Wing Commander Bhushan.
Jayed, as Dr. Vandana and Group Jha have said, it's a little early to really gauge what happened. It's possible there could have been a wind component which has crosswind, very high crosswind, and possibly he was not able to touch down at the point that he wanted to touch down. And after touching down, there must have been some hydroplaning, because in the heavy showers, it is possible that there was a film of water between the wheels and with tires and the ground, and therefore he must have floated a little longer. And at that point of time, he must have kind of, tried to save whatever he could, and he veered off and went to the Kacha. But as of today, right now, it is all premature to put anybody to blame. But I would say the weather may not have been as favorable as was expected by him, or when he took the call, he may have factored in certain things which may have been a little more than what he thought of. It's possible that the crosswind and wind component may have been one of the factors which caused his to float and touch down later.
Yes, Captain Panisar, in fact, has also joined us now on the broadcast. Captain Panisar, come in here on this incident. What prima facie you make of what transpired on board this flight? What caused it to veer in this manner that it has? engine damage, tire burst, obviously big scare for passengers and crew on board. Captain Panesar, what do you make of this incident?
Well, at the outside, I must say it's good luck that no passenger has suffered any injuries and all that. But I would like to blame the airlines for a poor training, because when I was flying, before the onset of monsoon, we have always been issuing circulars to the pilots regarding exercising caution during the rainy weather. On a wet runway, aquaplaning can take place, anti-skid may not come into operation. So what are the procedures to land in such a waterlogged runway? Those circulars we have been issuing every time before the onset of the monsoon. Why the airline has not issued these instructions to all the pilots? They may be experienced, it is given in the manual, but yet these circulars are very, very important before the onset of monsoon. Now, in an onset, it is good that not enough damage has been caused, but the airline must wake up to do more training, more refresher, and issue cautionary operation manual to all the pilots exercising caution during the monsoon weather. Because I know one slogan which is very important in aviation: any airline which thinks flight safety is expensive, try an accident. There's no shortcut to flight safety, and there's no harm in issuing circulars. How much it costs to issue a circular giving instruction to the pilot? They may be aware of anti-skid will not come into operation immediately you land on the runway, on a wet runway. It takes time for the wheels to move to a particular speed, and then the anti-skid comes into operation. It doesn't mean that when you touch down, immediately the anti-skid will come into operation. No. All these things have to be explained to the pilot before, and I would like to blame the airline for not giving proper training. There is a lack of training because of the too much of flying and the shortage of pilots and crew members. They have no time to give them all these lectures. If they have no time, at least issue operation circular. What are the things to be observed during a rainy weather and aquaplaning and waterlogged runways? This is very important. Even now, it's better late than never. You can issue circular even tomorrow. What are the instructions? How you should make a positive touchdown on a wet runway. Don't try to make a smooth landing on the runway. Because if you make a smooth landing, the anti-skid will never come into operation. You hit the runway and then let the wheel move to a particular speed, and then the anti-skid will come to operation. My only request and suggestion to the airline to immediately issue these circulars and advise these pilots again and again before the onset of monsoon. Thank you.
Okay, let me in fact quickly also take that across to you, Dr. Vandana Singh, once again for your perhaps lessons as well from this. What are the learnings from this? Do you believe such landings should not be cleared? Do you believe more specific training is needed? Do you believe, do you also perhaps, caution the airline on this, like Captain Panesar was?
Thank you once again, Uday. First of all, I'm agreeing with the entire panel on their observations. Secondly, we know the world we live in and we know the century we live in. We are landing everywhere. I mean, you're landing even in snowstorms. The pilots are well trained. Icing, de-icing, everything is checked, and aircrafts move in and out very smoothly. So in this case, I'm totally actually with the panel. First of all, A, safety and security cannot be compromised at any cost. B, is the important information going to the pilot? 2, even I question, is there adequate training? We all know this is monsoon time. This will happen, whether it's Kochi, whether it's Goa, whether it's Mumbai, whether it's anywhere on that side, it's heavy monsoon. So pilots are well trained for it. But is the rule book being followed? Is there a retraining that comes into play? Is it that there is so much of workload and so much of rotation that this machine had to land in Mumbai, and then there were passengers waiting for another flight, that they cannot disrupt the roster? What was it? The causes need to be probed into, and definitely the airline has to take a standing as to, well, this is the protocol that has to be followed, and if this protocol has not been followed, then please, this is the SOP, please adhere to it, and please follow ABC, because you cannot compromise when it comes to safety and security. And yes, all of what the esteemed panel is saying, I'm in total agreement with it. But they need they definitely need to relook as to what is going wrong there. Something is definitely going wrong. This is clear. Because we don't want to see these kind of incidents happening again and again. And thank God, here all the passengers remain calm, they are safe, and they are out of it. We don't want such things to happen again and again. And why is Air India coming so much into the limelight? For these wrong reasons. They should. It's time that they also showed up their mettle and pulled up their sleeves and pulled up their socks and actually, start doing things which are healthy and good for the country and good for the public. It's causing panic amongst the people who want to fly. And aviation, as we know, is the safest mode of transportation. And why is this sheer panic gripping people that people no longer are wanting to fly, especially Air India? Think about it, Uday. Over to you.
Yes, let me take that quickly across to you as well, Dr. Jha. Dr. Jha, surely corrective steps are needed. Do you believe that the DGCA should look into this incident and perhaps take cognizance of it?
Oh, surely. DGCA must look into each and every incident as well as anything that could go possible. These are the errors in the wet time, in the rainy season, in the cloudy approach, the crosswinds, as Mr. Panishan mentioned. It all has been there, all part and parcel of flying. As long as they are aircraft, they are the places where these things happen, rain do happen. It does happen. In Indian Air Force, we run a DSO course into which a disorientation simulator is there, in which we create all these conditions of the error of orientation. We call it disorientation. We create all these conditions, the low clouds. I have myself broken the runway lights while landing, coming for landing with the Otter 1980 at Chavwa. I have broken that. But all these things happen. They are part and parcel of flying. Any person who flies will be subject to it. But these airline pilots, they are the very experienced pilot, and they are not alone. They have got 100 plus 200, 300 passengers with them. They can't take these chances. So I do agree with both Mr. Panisar and Ms. Bandana, what she mentioned. If there's anything that could curtail such incidences, it is welcome step that would be there. But Mumbai runway, that is slightly predisposed to a bit of waterlogging, getting slippery in these seasons. We know about that. That has been happening earlier. Also, some incident has happened. We have seen such incidents happening at the Mangalore. Where the entire aircraft, veered off the runway. It met with a lot of people dying off there. So all these do happen. But again, the luck was on the better side of all the passengers and the crew. And that luck also prevailed onto the incidents that has happened. So I do welcome
All right,
that.
all right. I'm going to have to leave it at that. We've run out of time. My thanks to our guests for joining us.